Welcome to Parenting ADHD with Aymara, the podcast for parents who want to create calmer homes, improve their child's focus and behavior, and reduce the daily stress that often comes with raising a child with ADHD. If you're dealing with meltdowns, homework battles, constant reminders, emotional overwhelm, or simply feeling exhausted and unsure of what to do next, you are in the right place. I'm Aymara Valladares, licensed clinical professional counselor and creator of the Calm Focus Method. For years, I've helped parents better understand ADHD and implement practical strategies that create lasting change at home and at school. Each week, I'll share simple tools, real-life examples, and proven techniques to help you reduce chaos, build stronger connection with your child, and create the calm, structured environment where children with ADHD can thrive. So whether you're driving to work, folding laundry, or taking a well-deserved break, thank you for being here. Let's get started. This is Parenting ADHD with Aymara Valladares. Have you ever gotten to the end of the day and realized you don't even know what you need anymore? Then someone asks, "How are you?" And you say, "I'm fine." But deep down, you are so tired. Physically, mentally, and emotionally tired. The kind of tired that comes from constantly being needed, from solving problems all day. The kind of tired that comes from loving your child so much and trying all day to help them make it through. It might look like standing in the kitchen at 7 in the morning, trying to pack lunches, while your child can't find their shoes. The backpack is still empty and everyone is already late. Or sitting next to them during homework, watching a 10-minute worksheet turn into an hour of tears, reminders, and frustration. Maybe you found yourself hiding in the bathroom for 5 minutes just to get a moment of quiet. Maybe you sat in your car after school pickup and thought, "I don't know if I can do this again tomorrow." If you ever felt that way, this episode is for you. Today, we're talking about what it feels like when you're running on empty. And more importantly, how to start getting a little bit of yourself back without needing a vacation, a spa day, or a totally different life. Why ADHD parents never feel off duty? One thing I hear from parents all the time is this: "I never feel like I get a break." And honestly, I understand why. Parenting any child is demanding. But parenting a child with ADHD often requires a level of attention that many people don't see. And that's why it matters so much to understand how your ADHD child functions. When you can see what's happening underneath the behavior, it becomes easier to respond with support instead of frustration, and to work with your child instead of feeling like you're constantly fighting against them. You spend all day reminding, monitoring, organizing, anticipating, regulating emotions, helping with homework. You are trying to prevent problems before they happen. And even when things are quiet, part of you is waiting for the next thing to pop up. You might finally sit down after dinner, and then you remember the permission slip, the missing library book, the science project that's due tomorrow, or the email from the teacher that you still haven't answered. Even rest starts to feel like something you have to earn. And you think, will homework be a battle tonight? Will bedtime become an argument? I remember one parent describing bedtime as the hardest part of the whole day. Everything looked fine at first. The pajamas were on, the lights were low, the book was picked out. But then came the I need more drink, one more drink, the itchy tag, the sudden worry about tomorrow, the forgotten stuffed animal, and then a full meltdown because the blanket didn't feel right. By the time the house was finally quiet, that parent said she wasn't relieved. She was just completely drained. Will there be another emotional explosion? Will school call again? When you spend that much time waiting for problems, your body never really gets the message that it can relax. And wow, that gets exhausting. Let me give you an example. I once spoke to a mom who said her evenings felt like she was bracing for impact. Her child will come home from school already overwhelmed. And before she even put her bag down, this mom was scanning the room, checking the mood, thinking about homework, dinner, showers, bedtime, all of it. She once told me, even when nothing is happening, I'm waiting for something to happen. And that right there is why so many parents feel tired before the hard part even starts. And when you're tired, that tired, the advice people give sounds nice, but it doesn't always fit real life. What is the self care advice nobody wants to hear? So let's talk about it. Because I know what happens when exhausted parents hear that phrase. They roll their eyes, and honestly, I don't blame them. People say things like, take a vacation, get a massage, schedule a spa day. And you're thinking, who's going to watch my kids? When exactly am I supposed to do that? Do you know what my life looks like right now? Because in real life, self care might get interrupted by someone yelling from the other room, a meltdown over socks or a toy, a bedtime that takes 2 hours, or a morning routine where your child refuses to go out of the car at school. So when someone says, just take time for yourself, it can feel like they're talking about a completely different life. Here's the thing, the problem isn't self care. The problem is that a lot of self care advice just doesn't work for the life you're actually living. Parents don't need one more thing that feels impossible. They need things that actually help. When you're running on empty, recovery doesn't have to be a big production. It can be small. In fact, that is often where recovery begins. Before we talk about what can help, it's worth taking a second to understand what might be happening in your body. A lot of parents think burnout means they just need to try harder, and it's not. Burnout is often a nervous system problem. When you're dealing with stress day after day, your body learns to adapt. You become hyper alert. You stay prepared, you stay ready, you stay on guard. The problem is, after a while, your body starts to feel it. You become easily irritable, you lose patience faster, you become emotionally reactive. Sometimes you feel numb, sometimes you feel disconnected. Sometimes you cry over small things and then wonder, what is wrong with me? Maybe you snap over spilled juice, or you feel yourself getting angry because your child asked the same question for the 10th time. Maybe you lie in bed at night replaying the day and wishing you had handled one moment differently. That does not mean you don't love your child. It means you are stretched thin. Nothing is wrong with you. Your nervous system is basically saying, I need a break. That's a very different thing. One of the biggest shifts is realizing this. I'm not broken, I'm depleted. Those are not the same things. So, what does recovery actually look like? Here is where I want to gently push back on something many of us believe. A lot of parents think recovery has to take a lot of time. But what if that's not true? What if recovery starts with 5 minutes? 5 minutes sitting outside, 5 minutes listening to music, 5 minutes without solving someone else's problem, 5 minutes drinking your coffee while it's still hot. It could also be sitting in the laundry room for a few minutes while the dryer runs, taking 3 slow, deep breaths before walking back into a bedtime routine or stepping outside while your child is safe, just to feel the air on your face. 5 minutes of silence. I know those moments might feel too small to count, but they matter because they send a message to your nervous system. For this moment, I'm safe. For this moment, I don't have to fix things. For this moment, I can just be me. And those moments add up. That's why I like the idea of creating what I call a calm anchor. A calm anchor is just one small thing you do each day that's only for you. It's not for your child, it's not for your spouse, it's not for your job. It's for you. It might be a prayer, a minute walk, a 5 minute walk, morning coffee before the house wakes up, journaling, reading one page of a book, writing an intention. It doesn't have to be impressive, it just has to be yours. The key is doing it regularly. Over time, that tiny ritual starts to become a signal. Another parent told me she started with one tiny thing. She sat in her car for 5 minutes after drop off before driving to work. No phone, no email, no planning the rest of the day. Just 5 quiet minutes with her coffee. At first, she felt guilty, like she should be using that time to get something done. But after a couple of weeks, she noticed she was walking into her day a little less tense. Nothing huge changed overnight. She had created one small place in her day where nobody needed anything from her. This is just a reminder that you are a person too, not just a caregiver, not just a problem solver, a person. And that matters. Because when parents keep giving without getting anything back, eventually there's nothing left to give. This is what I'd like you to do this week. I would like you to pick one 5 minute recovery habit. Just one. Not 20 minutes, not an hour, just 5 minutes. Try to do it every day, or at least 3 times a week. If mornings are wild, maybe your 5 minutes happen after school drop off. If evenings are the hardest, maybe they happen right after your child finally falls asleep. If your day is unpredictable, maybe your calm anchor is something tiny you can do anywhere, like putting one hand on your chest and taking a slow breath before answering. That's it. No pressure, no perfection, just consistency. At the end of the week, ask yourself, do I feel even 1% better? Because sometimes that's how change starts, 1% at a time. If you have been running on empty for a while, I really want you to hear this. You're not failing, you're not weak, you're not doing a bad job. In fact, you are carrying a lot. And it's okay to admit that. You deserve support, you deserve recovery, you deserve moments of peace. Not because you need to earn them, because you're human, and humans need rest. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this episode hit home for you, share it with another parent who might be running on empty too. And remember, your child does not need a perfect parent. They need a parent who has enough left in the tank to keep showing up. I'm Aymara Valladares, and this has been Parenting ADHD. Less chaos, more connection, lasting change. Thank you for joining me on Parenting ADHD with Aymara Valladares. Parenting a child with ADHD can feel overwhelming, but lasting change is possible when you have the right tools and the right approach. I hope today's episode has helped you better understand your child, given you practical strategies you can use right away, and brought you one step closer to creating a calmer home, improving your child's focus and behavior, and reducing the daily stress that leaves so many families exhausted. If you'd like to learn more about how to get my direct help, visit thecalmfocusmethod.com, where you'll find free resources and information about how we can work together to help your family thrive. Remember, your child is not broken. They need understanding, structure, and support, and so do you. Until next time, keep showing up, keep learning, and keep moving forward. I'm Aymara Valladares, and this has been Parenting ADHD. Less chaos, more connection, lasting change.